Hello everyone, I have a series review for you right now, and it's for the Vikings spin-off series, Vikings Valhalla. First thing I should point out with this one is that my review is coming from the perspective of a Vikings newcomer. Of course, I have heard great things about the original series, and so many people in my life have told me that I would absolutely love it. I just haven't had the time to watch it just yet. But I do think that my enthusiasm for Valhalla is going to up my urgency to finally get that done. All right, so this new series takes place 100 years after the events of the original series, when many Vikings have settled in England. However, the more they prosper there, the more the king feels threatened by them, so orders their extermination. Vikings Valhalla then focuses on what happens after that slaughter when the remaining Vikings seek revenge. This show really grew on me quite a bit the more I watched of it. For some reason, it did take me a little while to acclimate to the world and the rules of it, to warm up to the characters and really get invested in their situations. But, even then, I was very much liking episodes 1 through 3, but I bring this up because when episode 4 hit, it was just undeniable that I wasn't just officially hooked on this show. I was full-blown obsessed with it. The production value here is very, very impressive when it comes to the big action-heavy set pieces. And then also when it comes to the details of Viking culture, you give me a layered and highly detailed way of life to explore, and I'm going to want to soak in every single ounce of it. And in the case of Vikings Valhalla, that element of the show is just especially effective for the production design elements, but also because of how strongly the characters believe in being Viking and how powerfully that's conveyed through the performances. Now, I did fall mighty hard for the show's main characters, but one thing that really struck me about Valhalla is that I just couldn't help but want more of everyone's experience, from, the key supporting players to background actors. The world just felt so rich to me. But back to the action briefly now. So yes, it is very exhilarating, but one of my favorite qualities of the season 1 set pieces is just how successful the show is at making the viewer feel part of them, especially when it comes to developing and then executing plans. I won't get into specifics in an effort to steal well clear of spoilers here, but when victories happen in Vikings Valhalla, they mean more because, yeah, you care about the characters, but also because I just felt so connected to everything that went into formulating those missions. Now let's talk about some characters, and there are a lot of main players in this show, and I really just can't get over how well they managed to juggle them all. Starting with the Greenlanders, who are just so easy to get behind because they're just so good and so loyal to each other. The cast chemistry there really ups the emotional investment of the show big time, and also ensures that the Greenlanders with smaller roles still pop and make a huge impression. But of course, we do have our main characters here, and Sam Corlett's Leif Eriksson is a really good one. Corlett's just one of those actors who can make so much out of non-dialogue material, and Leif is constantly assessing and reassessing situations, and Corlett's just got this ability to give you access to that headspace and really make you feel part of his decision-making process. Yet another Greenlander with exceptional screen presence here is Frida Gustavsson as Freydis. Admittedly, at the beginning of the show, I kind of feared that I wasn't getting as invested in Freydis' journey compared to Leif's, and I thought that that was something that could potentially make me feel like, I was being ripped away from my preferred storyline when it would cut to her, but man, that did not last very long, and I really do think that the success of Freydis' narrative has a whole lot to do with the conviction that Gustavsson brings to the role. She's just got this intoxicating mix of warmth and ferocity. It just becomes really impossible not to get fully consumed by everything that Freydis cares about and wants. Another Vikings Valhalla star whose intensity is downright magnetizing is Laura Berlin, who plays Emma of Normandy. The second she appeared on screen in this show, I immediately thought to myself, You right there are clearly a scene stealer, and every time you're in a room with a bunch of people, my eye is going to naturally be drawn to you. And, sure enough, that exact thing happened, and it really strengthens the portion of the story taking place in London. Emma is another just masterful observer and planner, and Berlin makes that very clear from the moment you meet her and never lets you forget it as things in the story start to intensify. Sticking with that particular portion of the show now, I've also got to give a big cast shout out to Louis Davison, who plays Prince Edmund. He's King Athelred's son. Just like with that role, it seems like such a tricky balance of making the character feel like a brat, yet still getting the viewer to root for him and convincing them that he does have potential. I was very impressed by his work there. Back on the Viking side of things, though, one of my absolute favorite characters of the whole bunch wound up being Jóhannes Haukur Jóhannesson as Olaf. What an excellent love-to-hate type of character. The guy is untrustworthy, a manipulative jerk, and just knowing what he's capable of often upped the tension of the entire show. Not just the scenes he's in, but it's something where Olaf has such great presence that he creates this ripple effect that impacts pretty much every single storyline in the series. I am gonna have to go really big with this. I'm giving Vikings Valhalla 4.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. I'm just totally blown away by how intensely this show enveloped me in that world and kind of made me never want to leave it. Everything in this show it feels so big, where you can very much feel the weight of the events unfolding and also the impact that they could have on the world and many people in it, but while also having a whole slew of very powerful and deeply personal journeys that somehow weave together so seamlessly that the show manages to support them all. And also, again, I'm just so excited about so much of this ensemble, and right now I'm kicking myself for not already mentioning Caroline Henderson and Louisa Richter, who they were also favorites of mine. Henderson plays the leader of Kattegat, and she is just such a force in that role, so much fight in her, but then there's also something so comforting and inviting about that character, and that inviting quality just well reflects the feeling in Kattegat itself. And then Richter's Liv, she's one of the Greenlanders, and I could not get enough of her fierceness in combat and those battle cries. My God, I really could go on and on about Vikings Valhalla. I might have seen season 1 2 times already, and I am just so incredibly excited that Netflix went right ahead and placed a 24-episode order, which basically guarantees us 3 seasons. And while I wait for season 2 of the show, I can now circle back and watch the original series. I just feel kind of spoiled right now with how much Vikings content I already have at my fingertips and how much we're going to get in the coming years. It's very exciting with how hard I felt for this show. All right, I am going to leave you at that with Vikings Valhalla, but if and when you check out the series, and I really hope you do, clearly I'm very enthusiastic about it, hit that comment section below, share your own thoughts right there. I'm so curious to know what you think. All right, got a supersized Patreon shout-out group right here because I got a lot of long overdue shout-outs to give to some very special people like Carol, Wessel, John Gregory, MK Songbird, Tommy, Andrew, Christy. We've got Michael, Travis, Avery, Craig, and Paul. You guys are really the best. Thank you so much for being here this month and for being longtime supporters. It really means the world to me, and you are so key to keeping all of this up and running, and I love all of this so much. I hope you do too. I hope you all enjoy the content that I'm creating here. Before you leave this review, please like and share it, and stay tuned. Got more on the way, an especially big one, actually, coming your way very, very soon.